Hello.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Bridget.
I'm Marissa. Nice to meet you. I'm
Paul.
5'10". She's hi.
Is that Fivel like the mouse?
It is Fivel like the mouse, yeah.
Oh, my daughter's like a huge Don Bluth like aficionado.
Oh my gosh, wow.
So
that's awesome.
she's also on the autism spectrum, so it kind of comes full
Yeah.
circle.
Oh, that's great.
All right, so
Right.
I know.
That was like really hit home for me. Nice.
so your character is, I don't know, what she does with Sam is like, it's like this perfect balance of kind of knowing what he needs and being sick of his shit all at once. How do you pull that off? I mean, you look really convincing. I mean, I'm in a house with 3 special needs kids, 2 on the autism spectrum, and so I get to see interactions with neurotypical kids and my kids, but no one as close as a sibling exactly. So what you do is like what I really hope for. So where does it come from? Where'd you draw that from?
Well, I have a brother. I have a little brother, and a lot of our dynamic is similar to Sam and Casey, in the sense that I want to kill him a lot of the time, but I would never let anyone touch my brother. Like, he's, the most important person to me in the world. And Sam and Casey, Casey has grown up in the shadow in a way of Sam, but in the same sense, she's grown up as his protector. And so I think it was easy to fall into that relationship because, Pierre is one of the best actors I've ever worked with. He knows his character so well. And we fell into a rhythm very early on. The first season, we had 7 scenes in a row where I was just smacking him across the head, and it was the first time we'd met, and so we immediately developed that rapport.
A few smacks really accelerates the relationship, right?
Yeah, really just cuts out all the bullshit. Yeah.
Cool. You got one?
So kind of the same one that I just asked my friends. We're from a website from Brazil, and we posted about the show for the first time after the Brazil Festival in LA. And we got a huge response from families, especially in how the dynamic is portrayed so well in the show. And I kind of want to know from you guys, what's the most emotional feedback you've had from someone who has a personal connection with someone in the spectrum? What was the most emotional approach you've had from someone?
I was in a restaurant with my grandpa after season 1, and the waiter came over and she told me that the owner wanted to talk to me, and the owner came out. She said, I have a son with autism. He's 27, and he had never been able to explain love or relationships to him until I watched your show with him. I think that was the most incredible, just because
I can't imagine how that felt.
Because that's why we do it. Is to break through some barrier between parent and child, with autism or not, but just the barrier of family.
Great job.
I think the response, maybe outside of the autism spectrum, but definitely from the queer, I constantly get Instagram messages about how this storyline has guided people to come out to their families, and even coming out to your family and me being an influence on how they do it, or even you being an influence on how they do it, is so important, because a lot of people don't even know how to go about a situation of sitting their parents down and being this is who I am, accept me or not. And I feel like this show is inspiring and encouraging for them to do it, because they can see that it's okay.
That scene at the very end of the season with you two in the car, I have to admit I don't watch a lot of gay influenced television, but that was one of the sweetest things I've ever seen.
That's my favorite thing about it. It wasn't the whole relationship between her and I in season 2 is that it's not sexualized. It's not a queer lesbian, it's I really like you.
Yeah.
And no matter what you look like, I like want to be around you.
Yeah.
So I'm going to delicately hold your hand so you know that I'm here for you. Is like romantic or even just as a friend. And that's my favorite part about it, is that it was so just like teenage love and so innocent and so pure.
Yeah.
Between this and Schitt's Creek, I've really expanded my
Yeah, it's the best.
Schitt's Creek is so funny.
It's because it's like, I don't know, there's just something fantastic. If you dive into like the queer media scene, like it is really special, especially right now, because it's I don't know, like I feel like straight love on TV has been portrayed so many times that it's like narrowed into this like one storyline that like is like played out again and again and again and again and again. Boy meets girl, boy meets girl.
Yeah.
And queerness in many forms. It doesn't have to be two women, two men. It can be, there's many shapes to queerness, but I just hope that like TV can like expand into that world.
I think it comes down really to like what she said and just portraying the feeling around whoever is on the other side.
Yeah.
Which is
so important.
I like your character this season. The way her interactions with Sam, I thought were, I don't know, super unique in that she seems to come into it and doesn't judge, and it just rolls with it.
Yeah.
And in my experience, that's a super rare person.
Definitely. Yeah.
So good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is there any person in your life that you draw from that's like, I don't know, I would hope that they treat that person in this way, and that's kind of what drives your performance?
Yeah, I wish I could tell the whole world. My sister has Asperger's.
Okay.
She's high functioning, but definitely.
I hate that word, but I understand.
But
I understand the use, but I hate that word.
Yeah, I know. Like to describe it, how she functions, right?
I've seen a lot of people that are normally functioning that.
Right. That are very like. Yeah, definitely.
That's true.
No, I think it's definitely, I pull from that, but also I think you're going to learn a lot about my character in season 3, about her background, how she has to be, or she's learned how to kind of be sensitive to anyone and be accepting to everyone. So
there's been just a mention of her family and her siblings, not showing them.
Yeah, she kind of just wants to be loved by anyone who could love her. So, which I can't say too much about, but I think she doesn't even look at Sam like anything. She's like a normal person. But yeah.
I appreciated that. It's been a rare person in my son and my daughter's life that's been just taken as they are and just, whatever. So.
It's, what is it? I've been working, even in my personal life, blank slating, where it's like when you wake up every day, you don't have a perspective or an opinion about anyone that you meet or anyone that you know, and you just like start fresh, like a new page. So you don't have any judgment about what you already know, and you just like blank slate. And so I guess I was learning about that as well when I first started filming. So I guess I could have maybe used that because it was like indebted and wired in my head.
It makes a lot of sense. What you see in the way that eventually you're able to forgive or whatever the supposed transgression there was between characters. Here's an easy one. If your characters are not running track and they're not avoiding their parents, what are they watching on TV?
Yeah.
Our characters?
I feel like mine would be like pop culture and like super, like, I don't know, hip-hop music and maybe Cardi B or something.
Yeah,
the complete opposite of what I would listen to.
That's so funny. What do they watch on TV? Well, I guess that begs the question: does atypical exist in the real world?
Yeah.
Are there like different TV shows in the atypical world?
Right.
And Casey watches like an atypical of the atypical world. And it's like, that's like me. I'm represented by this show.
I never even considered a parallel universe
Yeah, I didn't
theory.
even think about that either.
Is there Rick and Morty?
Parallel.
She definitely watches Rick and Morty. That's
Rick and Morty,
All the smart people do.
That's true. That's very true.
Well, let's see. You got another one?
No, I think you've been covering like everything I can.
Well, are you from Brazil? Or you got a
I'm
website
from Brazil, yeah. I'm from Brazil, and me and my friend are running issues doing you should. We're just like excited to like write about something that I feel like people like like when you first see, like, especially in Brazil, like there's not much, like all we have is telenovela.
Yeah.
So like it's not very like we don't have anything like atypical. So it's really exciting to write about something like you like this is so cool, like and so like get out of the kind of the Brazilian mentality, like watching something really cool and really like informative. So it's exciting to like write about that and talk to your friends and just kind of like back home and like watch this. And like
I love that. I meet so many people from Brazil, just like on the street.
do they go like come
Like around.
to Brazil?
Come to Brazil, yeah, always.
They're so welcoming.
I know, I love it. It makes me feel so good.
And they're so nice on Instagram.
I know,
like,
so cool.
we love you, Brazil, Brazil, we love you, Brazil.
We carry the flag like top of head.
Like, so
I mean, I think it's like a good like starter to like talk to people, especially because me like with the language barrier, I kind of want to explain why I'm like you completely don't understand what I'm saying. It's
No, you're
probably because
English.
Oh yeah, you kidding me? Yeah.
yeah, so it's kind of like my icebreaker.
Yeah.
I did that too.
Oh, really?
And I was like, okay.
My name is so and so. I'm from Brazil. Nice to meet you. Just in case anything happens.
Right.
So nice meeting you guys.
It was so nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.